Rubber match between the Dodgers and the Marlins. The Marlins took the first game 11-9. Dodgers responded with an 8-4 win yesterday behind Landon Knack. And right away there was action in that one from Shohei Ohtani, who started the game with a single. The next pitch he stole second. He's now one shy of 50 stolen bases, and it's not out of the question that he accomplishes 50-50 today. 2 home runs shy. And one shy of Sean Green for the franchise record in a single season. Shohei, of course, will lead off the lineup for Dave Roberts today. Mookie Betts will hit second, then Freddie Freeman. Teoscar Hernandez gets the day off. Will Smith slides up and bats cleanup. Tommy Tanks, Tommy Edman, his 6th home run in his last 8 games last night. Max Muncy's at third base. He came off of the bench yesterday, was walked intentionally, so his first action since he knocked in 5 on Tuesday. Lux, Pajes, and Taylor round out the order. They face off with Edward Cabrera, who's got ace-type stuff, and lately he's been more than just the stuff. He's put it all together. Just 1 hit over 6 innings against the Nationals on Friday. And before that, faced the Phillies, shut them out over 7 innings.
Now, that was a 9K outing with only 1 walk, 2 unearned runs, so he was a hard luck loser, but with a little support and this guy on the mound, he could be a tough customer for the Dodgers. He's had an injury interrupted season, mostly with his right shoulder, but early in the season this stuff was getting hit, but lately it is not, and especially the changeup and the curveball. They've been very good.
A changeup, he calls it a changeup, but it's 92.5 miles per hour. It's the hardest changeup since they've started tracking things. Off we go with Ohtani swinging and missing at a fastball. Dodgers 3-3 on this trip, a chance to clinch a winning trip, a winning series, and a postseason spot. Now, most of these guys have experienced that, but the man right here in Shohei Ohtani has, of course, never played in the postseason and has played in more games than any active player without getting to the postseason. And so when they do punch that box, punch that ticket, it's going to be extra special for him. 866th Major League game today, none in the postseason.
It's one of the things that Dave Roberts and Clayton Kershaw, every time the Dodgers have clinched, and then even when they've won a series and moved on, they want the celebrations to be big. I'm not sure it would be big tonight, more than maybe just a toast, but everybody has been there a lot of times, and some guys have never been there, and it needs to be special for those guys.
Ohtani smokes this ball to right center field, off the wall. Throw from Conine is late, and it's a screamer of a double to start this ball game. 114, Oral.
Shohei is doing everything he can to get him to the playoffs. This is one of those stress relief games, because if you get it done now, things start to fall in order. Flaherty on the mound, he pitches well. Ohtani getting it done, starting to get hotter at the top of the order, getting away from the strikeouts with this double, and he was feet away from 49. Little topspin on that one. Just need a little neutral spin or backspin, and it was way gone.
So now Mookie Betts, he flies the first pitch that he sees into shallow right field. Lopez and Berger go out, and it's out of Lopez to make an over-the-shoulder catch. Yeah, the Dodgers have had this offensive outburst, 8 runs at least, 4 consecutive games, even though the guys at the top have not really carried them. Ohtani on this trip 4 for 24 coming in. Mookie Betts now 4 for 26 on the trip. Freddie had the 3 hits yesterday, but prior to that, out of sorts. It's been a nice reflection of the new depth of this lineup.
The bottom of the order, buoyed by Miguel Rojas, but he's off tonight. Will Smith getting hot. Tommy Edman, of course. Kike chipping in. CT chipping in down there. Gavin Lux has kind of cooled off a little bit, but there's a lot of components from 5 through 9 that are getting it done.
Here comes a 1-0. Freeman leaves it upstairs, ball 2. Mentioned that it was 114 miles per hour, that double. That's Ohtani's 15th hardest hit ball this year. It's also the 15th hardest hit ball for the Dodgers this year. He has the top 31 hardest hit balls for the team.
Got to call him up to a higher league.
Yeah, outer space. Where is everybody? 3-0 on Freeman, whose 3-hit game yesterday was his first one this month. He jumps on it and pulls it foul. Little 5-game hitting streak going for Freeman. You'd never know it by looking at him and the facial reactions, and he has not felt right, but guy finds a way as well as anybody.
See a lot of swings there too. Some he's trying to pull, sometimes he's just trying to shorten up, depending on how hard the pitcher is, what the situation is.
Ohtani's jumping around there at second, and we'll go back to the bag.
If he gets to third, he's picking the bag up, I'll bet. They're going to have.
You think he'll do that?
That'd be kind of great. Like Ricky Henderson, hold it over his head and go, I am the greatest.
Walk for Freeman, and they're at first and second. And then when he hits his 50th home run, I think he should pick up each bag as he gets to it, carry him around.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I need help. These are heavy.
That'd be funny. Yeah. I hope the stolen base comes before the home run.
Uh-huh. Might come pretty darn quick. Freddie wouldn't mind tagging along. Will Smith homered last night's game. There they go. Throw to third. Beats him, but he got his foot in. The 50th for Ohtani.
The accuracy of the slide. In all of his bags, he has a tendency to read the throw, understand that the toughest part to tag is the back outside corner, and he usually gets it with just his toe and stays on.
Throw beats him, but the foot avoids the tag.
Foot gets in before the tag hits his knee.
On the 50-50 tracker from New Balance, Shohei Ohtani has stolen 50 bases in his first season with the Dodgers. Freeman's at second. Infield comes in. 2-0 on Will Smith. One more look.
Well, it's the velocity of the slide, and he doesn't pop up till late. You see how late he delayed in using the bag to come up, and that kept his knee from getting tagged. A lot of times guys will stop short of the bag, and then there's a little bit of momentum at the end of the slide that puts him on the bag. He used all his momentum into the bag.
So how does a guy who's never stolen more than 26 wind up with 50? You got the natural talent, right? The natural gifts that he's got. And then some very intentional work. Fly towards the right field corner. Conine drifts over. Should be deep enough. Ohtani tags. Conine's got a good arm. His throw's up the line, though. Throw will be squeezed by Fortes. Ohtani's in to score the first run of the game. So Travis Smith, who's the Dodgers strength coach, said that the very first time that he met Ohtani was out in the field at Dodger Stadium running. That was this winter. And he said to Travis, I'd like to spend some more time working on my speed, working on my explosiveness. So you got that intentional work there that he worked at through spring training, continues to during the season, has added speed. He loves to track everything. He is faster than he's ever been. And then there's the work that he started to pour in game planning, mastering that side of it with Clayton McCullough. So all those things then snowball into what they say right now is the biggest thing, and that is the confidence. He doesn't think there's any chance they can catch him. And lately he's been right. 27 for his last 27 and 50 total. Combination of natural talent, intentional practice, and confidence.
I get asked all the time by fans, is like he one of the fastest guys in the big leagues? And I'm like, no, it's above average. But then somebody today asked me, is he as fast as Ichiro was? And I'm like, I don't think so. But it is studied and on purpose, like you say, that intentional. And you know what? You'd think a guy who's like confident but knows that he doesn't have like blazer speed, that he needs to get a good jump, he needs to get a good lead, that he'd get picked off a few times going back to first or back to second. That doesn't happen.
0-2 on Tommy Edman. Freeman at third, 2 out. That's a ball. He loves a challenge. He loves to set his mind to something and then go get it. So just the raw speed that he was chasing. And then he loves the daily challenge of game planning each pitcher that he's going to face. What move am I looking for? What little head movement or movement of the glove that means I can take off? Edman offers at strike 3. And it brings this first inning to a close. But the Dodgers get on the board, and Ohtani reaches history. A double and then his 50th stolen base. Got to grab that base. The one that Ohtani touches for his 50th stolen base. One-of-a-kind season that he's having. Swapped out the hitting and pitching with the hitting and running. So it's Ohtani's combination of abilities, combinations of talents that has him on the board. He smokes a double, he steals third and scores on a sacrifice fly. So Jack Flaherty's got a lead with which to work as he starts his day with a fastball for a strike on Xavier Edwards.
Jack Flaherty on the mound coming off a clunker, the only clunker in his 8 starts for the Dodgers. He has been fantastic in acting like an ace. And really, tonight is the night where he wants to get back on that horse. The curveball has been outstanding. The fastball location good the last 3 out of 4. The walks were the high side in his last outing, and that's what he wants to do here, is really pound the strike zone with this stuff.
Wow, he gets some help right there. That pitch was a few inches off, but they ring up Xavier Edwards for the first out of the ball game.
First strike of the game also for Jack Flaherty was off the edge. This one's off even farther. Yeah, if he gets that kind of help, the walks are going to go down.
Yeah, if he gets 7 Ks, everybody's going to get a free Jumbo Jack with the purchase of a large drink. Jack Flaherty and Jack in the Box. Killer combo. Strike 1 on Connor Norby. This Marlins offense has done some good things in this series. 15 runs on 23 hits in the 2 games. That includes a few from the rookie Norby, who they acquired at the deadline from Baltimore.
Doesn't get the slider right there. That's a really good slider. He'd like some results with that pitch. Kind of keep him away from the curveball as far as a second breaking ball.
Now, the slider has always been his best pitch, and it was when he was at the Tigers this year. 195 average against it, but it's given up the highest slugging against in the National League since he's come to the Dodgers. There's 2-1 to Norby. A fastball is cut on and missed. 2-2.
He's either hitting his spot or just missing. He's got a really good rhythm going right away here.
Kicks and deals. Fouled off. And some of the guys were talking that the mound in Atlanta felt higher than your average mound, and guys were taking some time before they calibrated to that, and in some cases never did. Jack, perhaps one of those cases, felt like everything was missing up, and then the way that he was coming down the mound just didn't feel right. I'm sure you can relate to that. Had times where it just was off.
Yeah, for sure. Milwaukee had a reputation for having a high mound. The Marlins here back in the old stadium had a reputation for having a very high mound.
In the air to left center field. Taylor's got it spotted. And Flaherty's got the first 2 outs.
Dodger Stadium has a reputation of being one of the best mounds. The league loves coming to Dodger Stadium. The grounds crew there does an immaculate job, and it stays together. How many times over the years, I've been back 11 years, have we seen our grounds crew have to come out and manicure the mound mid-game?
Yeah.
I don't think it's been once a year would be a lot.
Jesus Sanchez, who was 0 for 4 yesterday after the 5-hit game on Tuesday, takes strike 1. And the Marlins are saying, hey, this guy's tough enough to face. This is going to be real tough. You give him these pitches. Sanchez was shaking his head right away.
Well, the umpires fly commercial, and they might have a tight getaway.
4:40 local time start. Can't be too many flights that you can catch after that.
Depends on where they're going.
Chase 1-2. Now Flaherty's last home start, 7 1/3 scoreless innings against the Guardians. And then that start in Atlanta just totally different. 4 runs over 3 innings. The walks, 4 of them, which pretty much all year he's been one of the best in baseball limiting those.
Four in just 3 innings pitched, too. 4 is a lot over 6 or 7 innings, but in 3 innings pitched, that's a lot of balls.
Cook had a little problem with his contact there. Here's his 2-2 on the hands of Sanchez, and Jack Flaherty with a ho-hum. 1-2-3 first. We're off and rolling in Miami, and the Dodgers have the lead. Nissan Aria. Max Muncy drove in 5 in the first game of this series with a 3-for-5 performance, and very quietly, since coming off of the injured list, he's got the team's #1 OPS. He's 5th in the National League, up around 1,000 in his first month back. So when we talk about this lineup having better length lately, kind of flying under the radar, he's the biggest reason.
You get excited about the acquisition of Tommy Edmonds and everything he's done. You get excited about Miguel Rojas continuing his production, but you're right. This guy comes back and it's powerful, especially when he takes pitches like that. That puts pitchers in tough places.
And you see the bottom line, the runs they've scored with and without him. The 1-2 from Cabrera, taken down and away. He's got a little history with Cabrera. Cabrera pitched at Dodger Stadium in May, gave up 4 runs, even though he only gave up 1 hit. Problem is that the 1 hit was a Max Muncy grand slam.
That was on a changeup. Max stayed on it.
Cabrera left that game after 2 innings with the shoulder issue you're talking about. Missed a lot of the first half with it. Here's his payoff. Spins inside and a leadoff walk for Muncy. That's the reason why the table was set for Muncy in that game back in May, and has often been the problem for Cabrera. One of the highest walk rates in baseball in his parts of 4 seasons here. Leadoff man on. Gavin Lux up. Gavin looking for his first hit of this road trip. Strike 1. Not been in there every day. They've faced 3 left-handed pitchers on it, but hitless in 10 ABs. Nothing in 2.
He's got to feel rested. Done a few ABs coming off the bench, but that is not his forte. He has got hot and had a good foundation earlier. Now it's cooled off a little bit.
On an 0-2, Lux slaps it foul.
Bat speed still there, still cutting it loose. Not feeling for the ball. That's a good sign.
Cabrera's 0-2 again. Lux watches it miss away.
Same thing that happened with Muncy. 0-2, and Max took it all the way to the end and got the walk.
'26-year-old from the Dominican Republic throws. Yeah, that's a changeup. 94.
That's a lot of swing with a lot of width on that pitch. I got to believe they're going to think fastball in after this foul ball. You touch something out there, the inside corner is open.
Stay away with the heat.
Yeah. I guess that zone inside with Gavin Lux up there might be a little bit more red for the pitchers and stay away. Green for Gavin. He likes the ball in there, but we'll see. Cabrera's fastball has a natural tail that would come back over the middle if he doesn't get it way in.
Bounced over the mound. The only play will be at first. It's close, and he's safe. Gavin Lux takes advantage of the slight hesitation from Xavier Edwards.
Edwards tries to tag Max Muncy. Max veers slightly out of the way. You create your own baseline. He's got some feet on one side, so he stays within the baseline, and just that hesitation of thinking about the tag, it makes it for Gavin Lux to be safe.
And by rule, there is no baseline until that tag attempt is made, and then at that point you have 3 feet either way.
Yep, that's how you create your own baseline. It's not a line between first and second or second and third, third and home. It's your own.
First 2 have reached, and here's Pages, bottom of the order, trying to do it again. Pages 1 for 3 yesterday, 6 for 23 as a September call-up. Also had an outfield assist in yesterday's game. Rip and a miss, ball and a strike.
Dodgers not minding 2 strike counts if Pages gets to that. Third base runner already after 2 strike count for the Dodgers with Lux.
And 4 total, which is noteworthy because Edward Cabrera last week against the Nationals gave up 3 base runners total over 6 innings. 4 for the Dodgers through 7 hitters. And you say, yeah, well, that was against the Nationals, but the start before that was against the Phillies, 7 scoreless. Comes home with a 1-2. Strikes him out. Second for Cabrera.
Nasty changeup. This is the one that Muncy and Gavin Lux fouled off. But this one in on a right, he just goes underneath his bat with the same velocity, around 94. Same good movement.
Well, the Dodgers are bucketing that pitch as a sinker. It moves like one, and velocity-wise, it pretty much is one.
You don't want to have the mindset that it's changeup.
Right. Check swing foul. Strike 1 on Chris Taylor. Dodgers had the high velocity machine out there before the game again today. Didn't have formal batting practice, but a bunch of guys went out there and try and get ready for the heat that they'll see from Cabrera. Taylor was 2 for 4 with a pair driven in last night. Behind 0-2. The 2 that he knocked in felt huge at the time. Marlins had cut it to 2. And then Taylor knocked in 2 with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. On an 0-2 pitch. Lays off a breaker. Ohtani waits on deck. Taylor swats it to right. Conine dives and makes the catch.
That was well done. Full swing. A lot of times it can fool an outfielder. Then the curvature of the ball at the end, you can see he has to lean a little bit and reach to his left. That's the side spin from a right-hander. It's a good jump, good route, and got him.
Shohei, who hit his 48th home run in Game 1, stole his 49th base in Game 2, has stolen his 50th base in Game 3. 2 on, 2 out. Ball 1.
50 stolen bases, and you ask how fast is he compared to other big leaguers? Well, he's in the top 28%. He's 154th of 556 big leaguers that have had their sprint speed measured.
That's a base hit to right field. Ohtani's 2 for 2. Muncy's headed for the plate. Conine's throws cut off. He's got 2 hits. He's got a stolen base. He's got a run scored. He's got a run batted in. And this game's been going for like 20 minutes.
This is his version of small ball. Double and a single. 1 RBI. 2 for 2, but a nice start to a cycle.
And a good sign for Shohei, even though it's been this fun historical chase and these moments that'll sprinkle in where you say, wow, overall, the number's not great lately. 4 for 24 with 12 Ks on this trip before today. But out of the gates, 2 for 2.
Both those hits to the pull side, the double off the wall and right, that base hit line drive to right, but he has gotten a few hits where he's gotten jammed and strong enough to force it over to left field. But I would think deep down, he might not admit it, but probably a little bit more power and pull conscious right now as he's in this chase, not only for the National League West and to clinch a playoff spot tonight, but also, of course, the 50-50.
First and third for Betts. You wonder, like, is it ho-hum for Shohei, this chase? No, he says there's no pressure, but you talk to the people that are with him every day and know him best. He's thinking about it and has been for a while. Early on this season, it was, 40-40 was something that he had in his mind that he wanted to chase, and then he got to 40-40. And the night that he did, Travis Smith, the Dodgers strength coach, said that he said to him, how about 50-50? How about 51? Into second with a stolen base. His second of the game already. How about 60-60, Shohei? We got 10 games left. Betts is down on strikes, and that'll end the second inning for the Dodgers. But Ohtani's right in the heart of it again. Drives in the second run.
MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection.
Strike one on Jake Burger. Bottom of the second inning. Jack Flaherty had a 1-2-3 first, and the Dodgers have gotten a tin soldier in both their chances.
8 out of 9 fastballs for strikes. All the outs recorded with the fastball. There's another one. 90% strikes with that fastball tonight. That'll keep you away from that season high 4 walks.
Burger homered on Tuesday. It's his lone hit of this series, 1 for 8. The former 11th overall pick of the draft in 2017 of the Chicago White Sox. But then he ruptured his Achilles, missed an entire year, comes back from that, ruptures his Achilles again. So at that point, he's wondering, can I fight through this? Can I make it back again? So just getting to the big leagues at that point was a good accomplishment for him. Traded over here to Miami last year. Biggest threat in the middle of their order. 26 home runs to lead the team. But there were some times where he felt like he was never going to get to this part of his career. Hits this ball hard, left center field. Pages turns and watches it fly. Burger with his second bomb of the series, and it's 2-1.
He reaches out over the plate, full extension on a fastball down the middle. flight of this ball gives him 27 home runs, 67 RBIs as he drives himself in. A lot of velocity off the bat, a lot of backspin there to get the carry.
Marlins on the board on the home run from Berger and a strike here on Jonah Bride.
Sure, he's thinking about 30 home runs, that landmark.
27 for him now. Here's Bride sending a ball to left center field. Taylor running into the track. He's got room.
That one just didn't have the same sound.
Here's Kyle Stowers. Came into the series 4 for his last 38. He's got 3 extra base hits, though, over the first 2 games. Former Stanford Cardinal takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Got to the majors with the Orioles, team that drafted him. Played in 60 games the last few years. And acquired in the Trevor Rogers trade at the deadline, along with Connor Norby. If you're a team that is as far out of first place as they are, you want to be able to get a few guys like this at the deadline. They did a good job without moving any stars, because there weren't any stars to move, but a couple great relievers they moved. Nice starter in Rogers. And they got a pretty good return of guys that they're at least putting out there over these couple months to kind of see what they've got for the future.
A lot of times when an organization is rebuilding and they don't want to bring up their younger guys that are Double-A, even some Triple-A guys, they don't want them coming up here and getting embarrassed, hurting their confidence and hurting their growth. So they go outside the organization when they're unloading and find some pieces that can be placeholders, and some turn into pieces.
Another 1-2 from Flaherty. 2-2. Skip Schumacher has said that the thing that's kind of kept him going through this year, where and the wins and losses not been good, is seeing these guys come and get their chances, and the looks on their faces and how much it means to them each day has injected some life back into him. Stowers down on strikes. Fastball's by him for Flaherty's second K.
We saw Landon Knack last night. His #1 pitch is changeup, but he used his fastball all night, and it was the foundational pitch, and it was very effective. Flaherty using the same pattern here, sitting on the bench watching Landon mow him down with the fastball. He's got some confidence in his.
Dodgers 2, Marlins 1. Here's Otto Lopez. One of those guys the Marlins are getting a look at and liking what they're seeing, especially lately, hitting above 400 his last 2 weeks. Otto's also been the #1 defensive second baseman in baseball this year. So just 25 years old. Short time in the big leagues with the Blue Jays. First real chance here with the Marlins this year. On a 2-0 from Flaherty, Lopez watches ball 3.
3-ball count, that's a rarity. A ball with his fastball is a rarity. Berger hit the home run on a fastball. Maybe he's throwing a few too many for strikes. Only missed like with 3.
Making his 9th start for the Dodgers tonight. 5-2 with a .325 since coming over. Back in the count, 3-2.
The 3-0 fastball right down the middle. The 3-1 fastball, a good pitcher's pitch on the corner.
Where would they be without him? What work at the deadline by that front office. Jack Flaherty in the rotation, Michael Kopech in the bullpen, Tommy Edman in the lineup. That's a walk. First one issued by Flaherty. Keep this second inning alive.
Well, a lot of hitters will swing at that pitch. 2 fastballs for strikes, and then you throw a slider 3-2 that starts as a strike, ends up a ball, but you get a lot of chases. I understand the strategy there.
Two out for Konai. Looking for his first hit of this series. Jack wanted a new ball, and he'll get it. Just minutes before the deadline, this deal went through with the Tigers. Taking advantage of a resurgent year for Flaherty, who had some great seasons in St. Louis, but last year had a 5 ERA. St. Louis sent him to Baltimore, struggled there down the stretch. From a 5 ERA to a 3 this year. After the 2-out walk, 2-0.
Had to get through some back issues. I'm sure that led to some mechanical adjustments and finding his strength and making sure he builds the endurance. But yeah, he looks really good. Did with Detroit, does now with the Dodgers. Missing in the same place right now, a little bit arm side.
Cut his walk rate in half this year. His last 2 starts with the 7 that he's issued look more like last year. I mean, you could see the extra frustration when he issued that 2-out walk there. He's taken a lot of pride in becoming a guy who doesn't give in, who doesn't issue free passes. Marlins on the board on the leadoff home run from Berger. Lopez at first has good speed. He runs on a 3-1 that's cut on and missed. Throw from Smith is laid, and it gets into center field. Lopez is at third.
Will trying to do everything he can to get it down there in a hurry to record the last out of this inning. Good pitch to throw on. Just skips it out there, and he'll end up getting an error because it gets away at second. Tommy Edman probably should have been able to knock that ball down, because when you walk up in front of the bag right there, you know you're not going to tag anybody.
Strike 3 called. Konai retired. Flaherty gives up the home run, but pitches around the walk. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Give in to Carl's Jr.'s Guacamole Bacon Burger with house-made guac. Final day in Miami for the Dodgers. Head home after this ball game. Freddie Freeman leads off the third. Pops up Edward Cabrera's first pitch. And at third base, Connor Norby's got it. Will Smith got him on the board for the second game in a row. Did so with a sacrifice fly today. He's got more sacrifice flies than anybody in baseball the last 4 years.
It's a good job by him, but also talks about the traffic in front of him.
Continuation of him feeling good lately. Really kind of lines up with what we were talking about last night. The movement of those hands. You see how high they are, up even with his face, like that pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Last 14 games, he's hitting .288, 3 home runs in that time. Yeah, gets plunked right here. He's like, I get hit enough behind the plate. Can't I just?
And slightly above the padding that he wears. He had his spa day where Fiducia took 2 or 3 or 4 off, and he was just hoping, oh, stay in the game, please. Let me rest.
Upstairs, ball 1 on Tommy Edman, who hit his 6th home run in his last 9 games yesterday, Kirsten.
He sure has, Joe. And we asked him last night just about this power that's been in his bat. He said he probably feels like maybe his rookie season between the minor leagues and the big league level, he had a time in which he was getting a bunch of home runs in a small period of time. But he did add that with coming off the surgery for his wrist this offseason, and it was taking a little bit longer for that to heal, and then the ankle injury that kept him pushed back a little bit later to his return, he does believe that extra time allowed his wrist to heal even more, and he thinks that has had a huge benefit with just the power he's been showing, guys.
Yeah, so in a weird way, the ankle injury might have been the best thing that happened to him. He said he's even surprising himself with how well the ball's been flying.
When you're healthy, a lot of your exercises are just general body maintenance and strength. When you get hurt, you really specifically work on that joint or that body part. And sometimes it can come back a little bit stronger with all the concentration on that as far as the healing and the rehab and the strength and conditioning of a specific place. And then the rest of your body, it's the general strength.
On 3-2, Edman bounces it foul. Into center field. On comes Stowers. He can't get it. Lands in there for a base hit. The Dodgers are at first and second.
3-2 count. Doesn't hit it real solid, but kind of glad that he didn't when it falls in front of the center fielder. One hop stop out there. That could have got real dangerous. He does a nice job getting this one in the glove. Doesn't record the out, but freezes the base runners.
Dodgers trying to make it 3 for 3, scoring in each inning. Muncy walked and scored last inning. Takes the ball. Two and 0.
This could get loud. Max has got good feelings against this pitcher. Got him for a home run back in LA. 2-0 count.
Took it for a strike. Oof. Tough take.
Jack Flaherty has gotten that pitch. It seems like that side of the plate is a little wide and a little low as far as the strike zone.
Big rip and a foul. 3-2.
3 of the 4 Dodger hits have been with 2 strikes. 4 of the 6 Dodger base runners have come with 2 strikes. Got them just where we want them.
Smith the runner at second. Edman at first. Here's the payoff. Muncy tries to lay off, but he did. That's down to first with a walk, his second one. And they've loaded the bases.
When Max has slumped, he has stayed in the lineup because of his eye and his on-base percentage, and it is proven and shown right there again.
Two walks for him, 3 for the team. Hit batter in there as well. This is reverting to the old Edward Cabrera right here with the lack of command. It's made it such a roller coaster of his 4 seasons in the major leagues. Left days where he just tantalizes with how dynamic that stuff is. Days where he does harness it and locate it. The biggest problem for him has been when things start to go sideways, like it seems like it is here, it typically continues to and snowballs on him. Lately, he's been a better job at, in a situation like this, limiting the damage.
Hence the visit and an encouragement and reminder of who they want him to be in this situation.
Loaded up for Gavin Lux. Blocked by Fortes. Lux hit an infield hit his first time. Get his first hit of this trip. Chance at a big one right here. The 1-0. Ball 2.
Go 2 off-speed pitches, a breaking ball and a changeup. Gavin's going to sit dead red and on one side of the plate or the other. They haven't worked him inside at all in his first at bat.
Three balls and no strikes and nowhere to put Lux. Three and one.
Looked like Gavin was taken all the way because that was very hittable on the inner half.
On this 3-1, he takes ball 4. Cabrera's walked in a run, his 4th free pass.
Sometimes it's just the uniform and the resumes that scares you out of the strike zone. And watching this Dodger offense through this road trip, but specifically here in Miami, you watch that for 2 games and you think, oh, I got to go pitch against these guys.
And now the bases loaded opportunity belongs to Pages. Fights off first one foul. Specifically to Cabrera. 4 innings against the Dodgers this year. 8 walks, 2 hit batters.
That sounds mental.
He's given up 7 runs even though he's only allowed 5 hits.
They're in this game. I mean, this is a huge inning for them. Walking in a run with bases loaded, 1 out, and only a 1-run game in the 3rd. And all of a sudden you walk in the run, it's 3-1 and the 1 out. And now its table is still fully set. A lot of their game is on the line right here.
The 1-2 from Cabrera is taken downstairs. 2-2 on Pages. And the bullpen gets going. Veneziano, we saw on Tuesday night.
Cabrera tried to go to the well again with the inside changeup, which he got Pages on in his last at bat. See where he goes now.
High fastball, 3-2. A run in the first, a run in the second, a run already here in the 3rd. Chance for a crooked number. Taylor waits on deck as Pages waits on this 3-2. Ball 4, he's walked in another. 3rd consecutive walk. And it's 4-1 as Edman steps on home.
The zone percentage in the league is close to 50%. He has barely been over 35% in the zone tonight.
And Skip Schumacher's going to pull him. You got Freddie Freeman on the first pitch of this inning. Hits a batter, gives up a single, and then walks 3 in a row.
Friday, September 27th, on an all-new Backstage Dodgers, former Dodger Carl Crawford visits the team in Atlanta and details how he started a record label after retiring from baseball. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers. That's Friday, September 27th.
Anthony Veneziano, who we saw on Tuesday night, inherits a bases-loaded jam. Chris Taylor's at the plate. Shohei Ohtani waits on deck. Already 2 in the bank in the inning on bases-loaded walks from Cabrera. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball lifted the other way. Conine going back. He's got room. In from third comes another. And 3 for the Dodgers in the third. They lead 5-1. Not a sacrifice fly from Taylor. And it brings up Ohtani. 2 innings. He's got 2 hits, 2 stolen bases, a run scored, and a run knocked in.
A little bigger challenge this time with a left-hander on the mound.
First and third, 2 out. Veneziano deals. Swing and a miss. He struck Ohtani out on Tuesday.
Veneziano is really tough on lefties. This year alone, lefties only hitting 154 off of him. Throughout his career, under 140.
Here's the 0-1. Ball 1. So Ohtani has surpassed 50 stolen bases, gotten his 51st today. 1 swing from tying Sean Green for the single season record. On this 1-1 pitch, takes in the dirt. Ball 2. Out of the way of ball 3. This could be a little bit of a preview of what October is going to be like for him. No matter who's hitting behind him, he's probably not going to get a ton to hit, especially when there's a chance to drive people in. On the 3-1, swings and misses at a sweeper. 3-2.
That's one he's been waiting for. He knows he's going to get breaking balls. A lot of them have been away, but this one just hangs a little bit on the inner half and he just misses it. But look at the height of it. Not as much break. Inner half to the middle. Huge swing at that.
Slashes his 3rd hit of the game into the left center field gap. Looks in to score. Here comes Pages. Ohtani heading for 3rd. Relay is in time. Just shy of finding himself a home run shy of the cycle after 3 innings. He'll settle for his 3rd hit in 3 innings. He's knocked in 3. Innings, 3 hits, 3 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases, and a run scored.
He knew he needed a triple to really get close to the cycle, only needing then a home run. And you could tell he stretched that one on purpose. Left center. You don't see a lot of triples there. The throw's offline by about 6-8 feet. He's safe. That's the only one that'll make him safe.
And to shallow center field goes Nick Fortes. And how much are you liking pitching for the Dodgers if you're Jack Flaherty? You've gotten to 7 runs of support before you get once through the order. He's gotten 3 Ks over the first 2 innings, 4 away from Jumbo Jacks for all. Back to the top, and Xavier Edwards. Ball and a strike.
Continued width on that side of the plate. That one was a little high.
One and two. Trying to prove that outing in Atlanta is one that you can just throw out. And given the track record of this season, it's easy to believe that. That's just a throwaway. That's Connor McGinnis, the assistant pitching coach, what he got on Jack today coming off that last start. And he said, he's the last guy that I worry about. You know what you're going to get from him. And they've learned that about him with just a little more than a month of time with him. Into center field. Pages, 2 out. And what a nice thing to have, just given the state of the rest of the rotation, that sure thing, that comfortability that he brings.
There's a lot of Dr. Phil in being a pitching coach. There's always somebody that needs to have some therapy, to be encouraged, to have a good bedside manner with. I would say Jack is one of those ones that doesn't get shaken from tough outings or bad things, like that call right there. Get back in there. 2 quick outs, both outs to center field. Now a 2-0 count. No more 2-out walks that made him mad last inning. Same pattern.
Three and one. Comes back home to Connor Norby. Shot sky high to center field. Andy Pages busy in this inning. Finishes off a 1-2-3 inning for Flaherty. Oh.
Dodger memberships are on sale now. Your 2025 membership includes priority access to 2024 postseason ticketing and much more. Visit Dodgers.com/memberships.
2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Dodgers, leading this game 7-1 as Mookie Betts watches strike 1 from Veneziano. Betts 0 for 2 so far today and 4 for 27 on this road trip. Though the Dodgers have a chance to go 4-3 on. Chance to clinch a postseason berth with a win and to get a step closer to winning the division. San Diego's off today, and so with a win they would go into the weekend up 4. Dodgers welcoming the Rockies. Padres welcoming the White Sox. Two and 2 on Betts. And it's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Popped into shallow right center field. Lopez going out. It's going to fall in. Dunk shot, base hit. Mookie Betts.
A gift that he will take. 0 for 2 coming into this at bat. 3-2 count. Little jam shot. You're expecting to just turn and make a right turn back into the bench. Gives it a nice solid jog down to first just in case. And then it's very happy when it hits that outfield grass.
Dodgers have scored in all 3 innings in this game. The leadoff man on in the 4th as Freeman takes upstairs. 5-run 3rd inning. It's a 4th consecutive game or 5th consecutive game the Dodgers have had an inning of at least 4 runs. The last time they had a stretch like that, 5 straight games with a big inning, they got home runs from Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, and Gil Hodges.
Okay.
It was 1950.
Oh, wow. These guys were young then, too.
Mm-hmm.
The offense continues to roll here. The 7th spot. 12th Dodger runner to reach base. And there's no outs here in the 4th. LA traffic in Miami.
Miami traffic in Miami is not great.
That's true.
Freeman to center for Stowers. You know, we talk about the pitching and the question marks there that the Dodgers have. There is some sense that just keep us in the game. If you're talking from the offensive standpoint, like just be okay. And we got a shot to score enough to overcome whatever problems you got.
I think in a short series, if you're talking 5 games, 7 games, there could be one game where the offense really covers a tough night for the pitching staff. But to count on more than one night with the excellent pitching you're going to face in the playoffs, that would be expecting too much, I think. But one game, yeah, I think with this lineup, you could win a game 11-8. You could win a game 8-5 or 6. But I think a lot of the games you're going to have to give up 3 or 4 or less to win. The one thing we've noticed about the Dodger pitching staff is 6 innings is usually pretty good, where it takes the pressure off the bullpen. The bullpen can get lined up to bring in the guys in the right order, the right spots. The Dodger pitching staff, if they just go 5, the starters.
Betts takes off for second, and he's got a stolen base.
Mookie joining in the track meet. Shohei with a multi-base game already. That was Shohei's 10th of the year. Mookie getting one here. Freddie Freeman was on the tail end of Shohei's 2nd bag, and that was his 9th.
So 4 for the team today already. Betts is into scoring position for this 1-1 pitch to Will Smith. Floated into right center field. Conine over. He lays out and hauls it in. Throw back to second in time to double off Betts. That was a close play at second, but the initial call is that it's a double play. Mookie hanging on until the video room confirms.
He gets into his slide in time, but does the foot get to the bag in time? Here's the look. Oh, that is close.
They're going to say play on, though. So a double play finishes off this 4th, and the Marlins put up their first 0 of the game. Bottom of the 4th inning in Miami. Jesus Sanchez a lead off for the Marlins against Jack Flaherty. Flaherty just the solo home run allowed to Jake Berger in the 2nd. That's the only hit the Marlins have gotten. He struck out 3, walked 1. 2-0 on Sanchez.
He's been attacking with the fastball, and he's only given up 1 run in 3 innings. And that's really without his breaking balls, the slider and the curveball. He hasn't been landing at all. Fastball, though, it's the foundational pitch again, just like it was for Landon Knack. Breaking stuff is under 50% as far as throwing it for strikes.
Up the middle. What a pick by Tommy Edman. Oh, what a play.
Been impressing with the bat and with especially the power. Move him in from center field to rest Miguel Rojas. And look what you get here. Wow. That ball launches off the mound. Now it's going to be how do you do the hop, and he does it perfectly. Current big league fielders, they like to create an angle like that, not get in front of it.
Oh my gosh, he's done it again. Tommy Edman, Tommy ball player.
This is sweet. One forehand with an angle, one backhand with an angle. They like to get off to the side and side saddle it so they can get a read on the hop from the side of it. And you only get it at the very end, but he gets enough. Enough with the glove and enough with the eyes.
Good guy for young ball players to emulate. Watching the way he plays the game all over, so fundamentally good. Bride swings at this one, pops it up. Back of first. Where's Edman? Freddie Freeman's got it. A 1-2-3 fourth. Ball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get more burger for your buck with the new $4.99 bonus Jack combo. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Dodgers 7, Marlins 1 to the top of the 5th. Yeah, guess who's leading off? Tommy Edman. After flashing the leather not once but twice in the bottom of the 4th inning, leads off the 5th. Already a hit in tow today. Pops this one up. Behind third for Norby. And Edman's the first out of the 5th. George Soriano's now in the game for the Marlins.
He's had quite a few days off. Pitched against Washington about 4 days ago. Gave up a home run in that one inning. You see the ERA that's elevated.
Muncy. Strike one. He's walked both times and scored both times. I was starting to say last inning that Tommy Edman's a good player for young kids to emulate, watching him on the field. But he's also a good player for them to emulate just as a guy. When you watch the way that he treats people around him, when you watch the way that he interacts with fans and signs for everybody that wants one, has a smile for everybody that he greets. Really just an impressive blend of ability on the field, fundamentally sound, but also the ability to do highlight things, but then also be a great example off of it.
He joins a great group that has a lot of good characters.
Muncy muscles this one left side. Norby with a diving catch.
A few Marlins are diving around, splashing around.
I see what you did there. This Marlin has been an outfielder for most of his time as a pro. Probably felt right at home diving for that ball in the air. It's the first time he's played third base since he was in college about 4 years ago. 2 up, 2 down in this 5th. Lux to bat. A visit for Soriano. Soriano trying to pitch the first 1, 2, 3 and into the game for the Marlins staff, and he's on the outside corner to Lux. Debuted last year after 8 years in the minors. Made a good impression. Back and forth this year. Going to get the Dodgers in order here as Edwards makes the grab. We're halfway home in a 7-1 game.
Okay. Dia de los Dodgers on Tuesday. Purchase a Dia de los Dodgers ticket pack and receive an exclusive bobblehead presented by Hornitos. For tickets, visit dodgers.com/promotions.
All Dodgers in this one to the last of the 5th. Jack Flaherty put in a rocking chair right away with that first inning run. 7 runs over the first 3. Six, 7, and 8 for Miami in the 5th. Fastball's in there. 1-1. Lifted to left. Taylor steps onto the track with room.
It's been well documented. The Dodger pitching staff has kind of been roughed up since the beginning of September, especially the starters. In Atlanta, Knack and Flaherty, 9 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. But here in Miami, getting things turned around, both of them. Knack yesterday with 5 scoreless innings, and that gives the combo 9 innings pitched, 1 earned run. So good job turning it around.
Strike 1 on Otto Lopez. One more start coming for Jack Flaherty during the regular season. You would figure that would be game 2 against the Padres, the way it lines up. The way it lines up right now, and again, they haven't announced this or decided this, but if they were just to keep rolling with what it looks like, it would be Knack in the first game against San Diego, Flaherty in the second, and then TBD for game 3. And then you get the 3 against the Rockies to finish.
That means if the Dodgers qualify for the bye and stay in front of Milwaukee, stay with Philadelphia, he would have an awful lot of rest if he was the game 1 pitcher in the playoffs.
Ouch.
Looks like it gets him right off the arch. Oh, a little higher than that, right near the ankle. Ow. That is going to swell. I can't remember doing that hitting, but I do remember taking a line drive off my ankle on the mound. Yeah, that's
glad to see him to his feet and even cracking a little smile there.
That'll hurt for a while. I mean, the pain doesn't go away. You just get to a point where you try to ignore it and still play.
So 3-2 as Lopez steadies back in there and rips a base hit to left center field. This guy's been really impressive. Walking now this bruised single.
That's very impressive. I mean, your lower half is a greater part of your ability. If you don't have a good foundation, use the weight shift and the balance the way you should. foot feels a lot better going down to first with a line drive base hit than a line out.
Griffin Conine looks at a strike. Lopez, multiple hits each of the first 2 games of this series, on twice today. He's threatening to finish this season on just an absolute tear, just a few weeks long now. It's a high drive off of the bat of Conine. Betts at the wall. It's gone. Griffin Conine's first hit of this series is a home run, and it's 7-3.
Jack's best pitch is his curveball, but it gets hit right here. Got graded as a curveball. It's breaking a little bit like a slider. Doesn't have much depth at all, but a bad curveball will look like a slider. Fastball has been very good tonight. The breaking ball just has not been there.
Strike 1 on Fortes. 3 hits in this game, 2 of them home runs. Plenty of support though. Got another football score. Touchdown to a field goal.
First half.
Yeah. It's interesting. 9 starts with the Dodgers. 5 of them he's given up 0 homers. 4 of them he's given up a home run. But in all 4 of those, it's been multiple home runs. So in between. Swing and a miss. 2 out.
And his ERA is really good. So he gives up a lot of solo shots and a lot. You know, the others are usually 2-run homers. I think he's only given up 1 3-run shot all year. Maybe 2, but a lot of solos. Like 50% of the home runs he gives up are solo shots.
Xavier Edwards. Space is empty. 2 gone. Bottom of the 5th. Hooks a line drive to right. He's got a hit. 1 of them in all 3 games.
Another hit on a breaking ball.
Norby's flied out twice. Slider went around.
Oh, for sure. He was trying to cheat and get this game closer. First thing is, yeah, get him out, but keep him in the park. Keep this game spread out.
Nice pitch.
Keep the 4-run lead or more, and Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor can bring in guys that not necessarily are the matchup or the high leverage guys, but the guys that they can just use, the guys that are rested. You get to a 2-run lead and you still want to win and clinch tonight. You all of a sudden have to go to guys not because of where they are rested, but you want to match up and make sure you have the best shot at getting the win.
Two and two. And now it's full. Flaherty's payoff. Misses inside. Ball 4. They only had 2 base runners over the first 4 innings, 4 of them here in the 5th, and that necessitates a visit from Mark Pryor.
Give him a little blow, get him refocused, especially like a guy like Sanchez coming up. 17 bombs, 62 RBIs, been swinging a hot bat here.
From 0-2 to the walk right there, second walk that he's issued. Facing the lineup for the 3rd time here. Not much of a drop off for Jack as he gets deeper into games. So here is Jesus Sanchez after the 5 hits on Tuesday is 0 for 6. He's grounded out twice today. Grounds it again. Freeman there to smother it. Feeds Flaherty and ends the bottom of the 5th. 2-run home run from Conine, and it's 7-3 after 5. This inning. Oh, he also has 3 hits total, 2 doubles and a single, and 3 runs knocked in and a run scored. That's it, though.
A double, a single, and a 2.5 bagger.
Well, I started asking around, hey, so what's Shohei's routine to keep the legs ready to be able to run, right, as a DH? And nobody had the end. Like, he was like, that's a great question. I got no idea what he does. So went to him, and it turns out there is nothing special. As is often the case, part of the answer, and obviously he didn't say this, I'm saying it's just that it's because he's Ohtani. Talking with Travis Smith, the strength coach, he said probably just from how max effort his swings are when he's back there getting ready in the cage.
It keeps him
that
loose.
Keeps his lower half ready. He's moving around. But again, he's Ohtani. You're not supposed to be able to look. It's one thing to go out there and run around the bases, but to explode the way he does, coming in what for most human beings would be pretty cold. It's incredible. 1-2 on Pages.
It sure is, especially, you know, from the 7th inning on. I mean, as a pitcher, when you do that, warm up, go pitch, come back, sit down, it takes more and more to get loose.
All the lower body work that he does certainly plays a factor in him having those explosive legs, but there is no real good answer for why he's so limber. And there's Travis Smith right there. Why he's so ready to roll, why he's so ready to sprint. Most of these guys don't do back squats anymore. Just the risk kind of outweighs the reward. Shohei doesn't do it during the regular season, but in the offseason, he loads up heavy and is as strong with just the Olympic style back squat as anybody Travis Smith can think of. And then during the year focuses more just on explosive fast movements as opposed to loading up with the power. Pages strokes a base hit into center field to lead off this 6. And as he worked on getting faster, remember he went to Travis first time they met, said I want to work on this. The focus within that was the first step, the starts, because he hadn't always been great when stealing bases. That jump, right, not always the fastest. So that's been a big part of his focus and work around that, not just going out and literally working on the first step, but strength training to address that. Strike on Chris Taylor. Dave Roberts said one of the first things that made him say whoa about Ohtani, spring training, you know, kind of hit him on the leg, hit him on the backside, go get him. He's like, I almost broke my hand. It's like his legs are like rocks.
It's funny to have you and others describe it as, well, he's Ohtani.
But sometimes, while it feels like a cop-out, that's the only answer.
He's the rock.
He's the only. I mean, we talk about once in a lifetime certain things.
Yeah.
That's almost selling this short. Like, I don't know that anybody else's lifetime is going to have a player like this. This is once and forever. Another 0-2 to Taylor from Soriano. Inside, ball one. Even the guys around him, even the star players around him, are in awe. Same way our jaws drop up here, they drop down there.
I got to play on the same field with Bo Jackson, with Deion Sanders, Barry Bonds. It's just, yeah, you're right. You just smile when you're around that kind of talent. And those guys are like, their talent was in specific categories usually, not the whole package.
And to think this is only half of the full thing.
Oh, yeah. But we're getting a full dose of the running.
Right.
I think that's going to get taken back a little bit once he gets on the mound. Maybe a lot.
Yeah, there's a really good argument to be made that not only is this going to be the first 50-50 season, it may be the last. See, he gets back to pitching. That's just hard to fathom. Off the hand, softly to short. Edwards running throw to get Taylor. And to get Ohtani back to the plate. Ohtani came into this game 4 of 24 on this road trip. 3 for 3 through 3 innings today. Shohei's saying, go.
Andy Paez is the 4th fastest Dodger. Ohtani at the plate is the 5th fastest Dodger. I'm talking about tools and how he has improved his base running. Not even the fastest on the team.
The 0-1 pitch. Ohtani sends one in the air. Deep right field. He's in a world of his own. In 135 years of Dodger baseball, Shohei Ohtani, his 49 home runs, matching Shawn Green for the most in a single season. And he's one shy of the first 50-50 campaign in baseball history.
An amazing blast. Majestic. The second deck. The only thing more impressive, the totals.
4 hits, 5 driven in today. And you think back to him trying to turn that double into a triple. All it would have taken was a less than perfect relay, and this would have been for the cycle. And he's going to get another at bat with a chance at a cycle and a chance at 50-50. His 49th leaves no doubt. Jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring. How about that line?
The prank in the big leagues is to give a guy silent treatment after certain home runs. He's going to get the silent treatment because nobody's going to know what to say.
Right. So you know what I mean? Speechless treatment.
It's just speechless.
Two and two on Mookie Betts. 9-3 Dodgers, a 5th consecutive game with at least 8 runs.
Playoff ready lineup.
Mookie, who bats now, was saying the other day, it's pretty amazing to feel like you're pretty good at baseball, but then see a guy like this that you feel like is just so much better than you and so much better than all of us. Caught at third by Norby. And that's one of the top 3 players, top 5 players, wherever you want to put him in the game.
And that's very humble coming from Mookie, because if Mookie was healthy all year, he'd be right there with Shohei as far as MVP votes. But Shohei, with these impressive totals with the stolen bases and the home runs, would definitely win that race.
High fly, center field, Stowers. Shohei Ohtani doing amazing things again throughout this game. He's gotten his 50th stolen base. He's gotten the franchise record 49th home run. He's within 1 of doing something that's never been done. Jack Flaherty's been solid, but it doesn't matter what he or anybody else does today. One man is stealing the headlines. Ball on Jake Berger. Shohei Ohtani. His 50th and 51st stolen bases, his 49th home run. And still with a third of this game to be played, he's done something that hasn't been done by a Dodger since 1930. 4 hits, 5 runs batted in, 2 stolen bases in the same game. You've got to go back to Babe Herman in 1930, which was arguably the greatest individual offensive season in franchise history. The last time anybody set a line like Ohtani already has today. Couple defensive changes. Kevin Kiermaier's in the game in center, and Pages has moved over to right, so Mookie Betts gets a rest. Kiermaier into the 2 spot of the order. Ohtani will get another at-bat in this game. With a chance at the cycle, a chance for 50-50 today. Remember, his double to start the game missed getting out by 4 feet, 3 feet.
Yeah, exactly. Little topspin on it. Ends up hitting the right field wall.
It's just absurdity.
There's not a lot of violence to his game. The way he runs, the way he slides. A few swings, a few of the home run swings, a few of the swing and miss, you'll say, yeah, that one was a little over the top. He does it with such ease.
Grace.
Yeah.
But you're right, when it is that iconic swing, It's like a graceful violence to the whole thing. Just that one brief moment of violence.
And the violence is really in the exhaust. It's not from the top of the swing to contact with the ball. It's what happens to the feet with the torque and the finish with the shoulders that makes you think it's violent. But it's still in such balance. It's like the great golfers when they hit the long drive and they're still in balance and they're just great, just a corkscrew of the power.
After Berger strikes out, Jonah Bride pops it up and curses. And Tommy Edman will catch it. 2 out. Love the crowd reaction.
It's the loudest they've been the whole series.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're here for. To watch this guy.
And what an impressive evening they've had to watch him.
Kyle Stowers pokes one to left field. Taylor coming on, won't get there. Stowers with a 2-out hit. For most folks, it's your one trip to the ballpark each year. For some, it's the one trip to the ballpark you'll ever make. And if it's today, think about what you're going to be able to tell everybody you witnessed.
The Marlins knew what they had coming to town because they had Japanese Heritage Night on the first day of the series.
Otto Lopez, the star of the Marlins show in this game, walking a single, run scored, stolen base. Two and one on Lopez. Flaherty on the verge of getting through 6 innings. Solid bounce back outing for him. If you can keep it right here, finish this 6th.
If there's one critique that he would have on himself, I'm sure, after the home runs, I think he would say, I need a better spray pattern once I get 2 outs. Just falling behind the 2-out hitters too much, walking one. To short and Tommy Edman gobble it up and throw him out in 6 innings from Jack Flaherty. 9-3 LA. One of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on Wednesday and get an exclusive Clayton Kershaw bobblehead presented by AM/PM. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
4, 5, and 6 for the Dodgers in the 7th inning. Will Smith with a cue shot on the first pitch down there to Jake Berger for the first out. Dodgers 9 runs on 8 hits in this game. They've taken 5 walks. There's a hit batter in there. All kinds of support for Jack Flaherty. He was able to go 6.
Good results and a good download, I'm sure, with the 2 pitching coaches. Always looking for edges to get better.
Ball on Tommy Edman. And the Padres off today, and so the Dodgers have a chance to get the lead to 4 games going into the weekend. Time called. Something got out onto the field. Diamondbacks off, or Padres off. Diamondbacks play in Milwaukee. Start a 4-game series tonight. And if the playoffs started today, that would be the first round matchup. Diamondbacks, Brewers. Mets, Padres would be the other. So we got the Padres as the first wild card team. The Diamondbacks and the Mets currently tied for the last wild card spot. 1.5 up on Atlanta for it. Wouldn't mind keeping Atlanta out of the picture with that starting rotation. 2-1 on Edman. Now the Mets have won 15 of their last 19 games, but they have the hardest remaining schedule. They start a 4-game series with the Phillies today, then 3 with Atlanta, 3 with Milwaukee. Those 3 with Atlanta obviously going to be huge down at Truist Park next week. And then looking ahead, even a little bit beyond that, the final 3 games of the year, Padres and Diamondbacks play head to head. Edman takes the walk. Number 6 for LA.
As they should.
Here's graphic proof of what we're talking about. So 2 balls, no strikes on Max Muncy, who's got 2 of those 6 walks today. It came at a score after both of them.
He has taken some mighty cuts tonight. Gotten himself in some good hitters counts too. Gathered a lot of information before he cuts it loose. What's fun about that and watching him hit is because he still will take his walk.
There's a bullet down the right field line. 2 walks and now a base hit for Muncy. That'll send Tommy Edman over to third.
You see guys get in hitters counts and cut it loose and foul it back, and then the count continues. And you don't usually see those guys end up walking, because guys who swing that hard and that well, they're like, I want to hit. But Max still has an eye and will take his walk. Well, there he got a strike and he plastered it.
First and third, 1 away for Gavin Lux. Just kind of that approach of, if I'm swinging, it's because it's a pitch I think I can hammer. So that's what I'm going to try to do if I'm swinging.
Yeah, and you're swinging on every pitch, and you're disengaging when it's a ball. And so he's got a really good switch as far as continuing on or taking, because the effort to swing as strong as he does and as fast as he does, there has to be that initial effort in your legs and in your torso and in your hands, and then the discipline with the eyes to shut it down and switch it off.
Dodgers looking for double digits. Muncy's going to move up.
Wild pitch instead of a stolen base, which we've seen more of.
Mike Baumann, who we saw last night. Two 2-0 on Lux, who's reached a couple times. Single and a walk. Walk came with the bases loaded, got him a run batted in. He came around to score in that 5-run third. Ahead 3-0. How do you think they handle Ohtani when he comes up? They don't put him on, do they?
I'm not sure they will want to pitch to him. The pitcher might not want to pitch to him, and the organization might not want it to happen against them.
3 hitters away from finding out. The way this game's gone, it might not be his last at bat. Good day for Pages. Hit, walk, 2 runs scored, run knocked in after he 1 for 3 with a run scored yesterday. Schumacher's going to make a change right here, out to Baumann. 9-3, Dodgers in front. They've got the bases loaded here in the 7th. Ball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today at shopnissanusa.com. Dodgers, after losing the opener 11-9, responded with an 8-4 win yesterday, and they're up by a bunch today as Mike Baumann comes on to pitch. Finished off yesterday's game for the Marlins. Bases loaded for Pages. Takes the ball in the dirt. It's interesting, the Marlins radio guys came over between innings and said, do you think that Dave will pinch hit for him to ensure that 50 comes at home? And we both said, yeah, because he got the cycle that he's got a chance at too. I think the bigger question is what we were talking about. Will they pitch to him?
Yeah, I think that's the bigger question. And Shohei, Dave wouldn't just pinch hit for him. He would ask Shohei, hey, you want to take the rest of the night off? And Shohei would say no.
Right.
Not with a chance at the cycle. The way we saw him stride out that possible triple really should have been a double. But he was within his rights to go for a third because, you know, that ball's offline by about 6 feet. He's safe.
Full count on Pages. And no matter what happens, this is one of his finest pieces of work yet today. 4 hits, 5 runs batted in, 3 extra base hits, 2 stolen bases. Pages hits this ball hard towards the left field corner. Yeah, it'll bounce up against the wall. Pages knocks in 2 with a double. So Andy's got 2 hits, 2 runs scored, 3 runs driven in.
He is one of the more popular Dodgers here in Miami with so many people from Cuba down here. I've been around town, around the hotel. A lot of people asking me, how's Andy Pages? I said, he is a very good player, professional hitter, and continues to swing the bat well.
Infield still in an 11-3 ball game. Taylor grounds it to third. Backhand play by Norby. Low throw is bounced in there to Berger. And here we go. Here he comes. Double in the first, single in the second, double in the third, homer in the 6th. He's matched the franchise record for a single season with 49. He's one away from the first 50-50 season ever. First base is open. Let's see if Skip Schumacher. He said, blank that. He's going after him. Mike Baumann to Shohei Ohtani. Swing and a foul into the glove, strike one.
He's been pull conscious, and this one was one to pull, and he could elevate it. He gave it his best shot.
The 0-1 pitch. Ohtani fouls it back. 0-2. I love it. I love that Baumann's pitching right at him. Hate to be the guy to give it up, of course, but competitor. You can see the same thing on Skip Schumacher's mind. Oh, we're going right at this guy. On an 0-2 pitch, Ohtani takes in the dirt. That's to the backstop, and Lux will jog in. So they got a dozen today. .29 in the 3 games total. Triple for the cycle. Homer for history. On a 1-2, Ohtani sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Gone! One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. He achieves history with a one-day rampage, September 19th, 2024. Five for 5, 2 doubles, 2 stolen bases, 2 home runs, and a guy that has made a career out of breaking the limits, out of bending baseball to his will, has once again done something that nobody thought anybody would ever do. He's continued to defy, continued to reframe what's possible in this game.
He's all by himself. It's an absolutely amazing performance. And there's still the regular season left and his first postseason games ever.
And he stands alone on the Dodger all-time single-season leaderboard. The first Dodger with 50 in a season. Is the first player in the history of this sport, of America's pastime, to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same season. He's two players rolled into one. You're not supposed to be able to do both. You either hit the home runs or you steal the bases. Hey, you either hit or you pitch, or you're Shohei Ohtani and none of the rules apply to you. He continues to write his own rules. He continues to write his legend. Book gets longer, the legend grows. For Shohei Ohtani, his first season in the Dodger uniform, one like no other we've ever seen. Kiermaier's down on strikes. The inning is over. Shohei Ohtani has reached 50, and he's reached 50 on the same day, September 19th, 2024. Something this game has never seen. Ohtani's done it. 50-50. .50 tracker presented by New Balance. Here's the swing that does it. With an opposite field shot. He pulls one to the upper tank and then he sends one the other way. His 50th home run.
He went back-to-back on himself. Both at bats in a row, and then the curtain call.
A road curtain call with a crowd that is appreciating baseball history, appreciating unrivaled greatness. And in Ohtani fashion, in the same way that he reached 40-40 with a walk-off grand slam, he reaches 50-50 in a game where he's the first guy since RBIs became a stat to have 5 hits, 2 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 7 RBIs in the game. Evan Phillips into the game to pitch. Retires the first man, 1 gone. Oh, hey, Evan. Like the rest of the game. Well,
he's accomplished it, right? But we pretty much thought he was going to accomplish it no matter when it was going to happen, just the way he goes about his business. We knew it was on his mind, and he was focused on it. A home run this year, going into that at bat, if he had a home run in that bat, which he did, a home run every 11.96 at bats. 1 every dozen times up there, going to hit you one.
You know what's so special about this, and I think is one of the great things about sports, he's doing things that, as we've touched on today, the rest of the players in this sport are envious of. They realize they can't do. Yet still, there's this sense that, like, we can all relate with it, in that he set his mind to something and went out and got it. We've all done that. We've all said we want something and then put in the work to go get it. He had the goal of getting faster, of stealing more bases, and then his 40-40 became a possibility. He had 40-40 as his goal. He went and accomplished it. And so while he's in his own world, he's superhuman, I think all of us see ourselves in his chase, because we've all chased something, and he continues to redefine what he's going after and continues to push after it. And time and again accomplishes whatever it is he sets after.
Well, there's so much about his character that you'd like to emulate, right? And have emulated, as far as the competitiveness, the focus that he shows, the work ethic.
Sanoha with a pop fly into left field. Taylor a dead sprint, can't get there. Sanoha busting into second with a 2-out double.
You know what I appreciate most about him in the midst of doing all these great things is that he's a gentleman and really kind and considerate and thoughtful about other people, all the way down to where his foul balls go, or if he swings so hard that maybe the catcher is going to get hit. He is apologetic in so many different ways when he really doesn't need to be. People are probably glad a foul ball hit him.
Yeah, thank you for hitting me. I'm going to say I got hit by Ohtani.
There's nobody saying that he's got paid too much money either.
I was just thinking of that.
You know, that's usually along for the ride with guys that are the highest paid players in their game. Just so much appreciation for what he has done for baseball, for Los Angeles, for the Dodgers, for his teammates.
Kirsten, you've got a great view down there to whatever's going on, huh?
I do. So, of course, they authenticated the bag earlier for his 50th stolen base. They don't have the ball just yet, but they are currently authenticating Shohei Ohtani's decoy cleats. So if you remember for Players Weekend, he had some designed, and he actually wore them when he got to 40 and 40. So he's wearing them again for this game. I noticed it earlier, but now they are authenticating those special decoy cleats just for Shohei Ohtani, guys.
They authenticated right on his feet. Walk over here, Shohei. Stand still.
There's nothing that was on his body that they're not going to authenticate. Everything. The t-shirt, the socks, the stirrups, the sleeves, everything.
Go back in a room, close the door. It's like, oh, gosh, what's happening? We need it all. Walked in Orby.
If he starts chewing a piece of gum, somebody will get it.
Yeah. And what you're saying about the contract, nobody's saying they're paying him too much. His $700 million contract just breaks everything. Go to Dodger Stadium and look at the impact his presence has had. You walk in there and it is a wall of 17 jerseys. It's often nonstop tours. Tourists from Japan, Japanese people from the States come in there. They've hired Japanese speaking tour guides just to cater to that entirely new part of the fan base that he's brought in.
It's like Fernando Mania, but it's Ohtani Mania.
One on Jesus Sanchez.
The Major League Baseball authenticator will follow him back to his locker. Believe me, he will not go sight unseen. The jersey, the pants, the stirrups, the sleeves.
That's it for the bottom of the 7th. Another look at the 50th for Shohei Ohtani. Box score brought to you by your Lexus dealers. Let's not overthink it. Let's take a look at this one-of-a-kind line. 5 for 5, 2 homers, 2 doubles, 7 driven in, and 2 stolen bases for Ohtani. There's never been a season like this, and he reaches that mark with a game that we've never seen. Shohei is now naked. That's awesome. I mean, this is the authenticators moment, too. Getting a little help down there from Alex Torres, Dodgers clubhouse manager, and the best in the business, the Shohei Ohtani of that position. Strike on Kike Hernandez, leading off this 8th inning. Pinch hitting, or not pinch hitting, but after coming in defensively for Freddie, hitting for the first time in his spot. They were talking about the contract. Certainly going to pay for itself just in what he's brought the organization. And you were talking about him as a person, how humble he is, what's important to him. But like when you think about what matters most to Shohei Ohtani, think back to the fact that he deferred a lot of that contract. Look, he's going to get the money. He's going to make more because he's deferring it. But he deferred it so he had a better chance to win now. He deferred it so they could go give Yamamoto the contract they gave him, so they could continue to add players while he's here. Because that's what's most important to him. It's not the numbers in the contract. It's the numbers of world championships that he gets. I think back to the beginning of his career. He had a chance to go to the majors at a certain time as a free agent and make bonkers money right away, or go when he felt he was ready, even though it meant that he was going to be on a rookie deal, which he was in Anaheim. He decided, because he wanted to accomplish that dream, go to the big leagues, he wanted to go now instead of waiting another year and being able to cash in as a free agent. Great examples and insights into what matters most to Ohtani. Fiducia takes strike 3. Two up, 2 down in this 8th, and here's Tommy Edman. Single walk, 2 runs scored. Dodgers 6 outs away from finishing off this historic day. And to add to Ohtani's wonderful day, once this game ends, he will officially be headed to the postseason for the first time in his career.
Yeah, that is fantastic, because so many great players, Hall of Famers, did not get a chance to play in the playoffs. And we know the pressure doesn't get to him. We've seen it in the World Baseball Classic. We've seen it with this chase.
I saw it right here. Boy, he likes this place, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Finishing off the WBC. And what he's done today, a curtain call on the road. And company trying to figure out what they're going to talk about in the post-game show. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Zach Logue is going to come on to pitch here. Looking to get an out after he faced 3 hitters yesterday. They all got hits. They all scored runs. So if you look under that ERA category for this season, it says INF, infinity, until he gets an out. Johnny Paredes pinch hitting to lead off this inning.
Love to see him get an out. Love to see him have a 3 up, 3 down inning. It is a huge gut punch. This is the new elbow pad he's got to break in. The other one's been authenticated, unless he's getting to put the authenticated one back on.
Wouldn't that be something? He goes out there with a sticker. All those batting gloves look brand new. It's not out of the question that he hits again. He's due up 5th. He's going to have so many clubs open. 50-50, 51-51. I mean, you can go party wherever. Lead off base hit right here.
Well, he's still locked in. He is looking down in the Marlins bullpen to see who he might face. Celebration was very quick.
You know, the one that separates him from the next guy I'm going to mention is the stolen bases, but the line outside of that, 2 homers, 4 extra base hits, 5 hits total, 7 knocked in. The only other Dodger to have a line like that in a game, Shawn Green, the man that he passed today on the all-time single season home run leaderboard. Wonderful symmetry there. We mentioned yesterday that Shawn had said, hey, Of course, I wanted my record always to stand, but if it's going to fall, pretty cool that it's going to fall to the greatest player in baseball history. Strike on Derek Hill.
Move over, Babe. Move over, Willie Mays.
Yeah. Well, before Ohtani, the most stolen bases that a guy had in a 50 home run season was 24. Willie Mays did that. Alex Rodriguez did that. In Dodger history, there have been 14 50 stolen base seasons. The most home runs in one of those, 10 from Davey Lopes in 1974. Instead of hitting and pitching like Babe Ruth, he's hitting and running like nobody we've ever seen. And the part that's probably not talked about enough is the efficiency that he's doing this with, these stolen bases. 27 for his last 27, 51 out of 55 overall. That makes him the third player in baseball history to have 50 stolen bases with this high a success rate. Jacoby Ellsbury did it in 2013, and then before that you've got to go to 1922. Hall of Famer Max Carey. Max had 10 home runs that year. So Lowe gets a strikeout, and guess what? You get jumbo jacks, people. The hits just keep on coming. Wow. Strike on Lopez. All right, so Zach Lowe comes back a day after the 3 hits and 3 runs and puts up a scoreless inning. Guys, they're throwing a position player. He's going to hit another one. Once he gets hit, he's now 4 batters away. We're up here saying, but wait, do you try to make it a triple?
Well,
the cycle?
The way to make it a triple or a cycle is hit a home run, miss home plate, go sit on the bench, and have the Marlins realize you missed home and come get tagged out on the bench.
No, he knows that.
That'd be quite a way to get the cycle.
Blocks, lifts it to center field. Pache the catch. 1 away. Need one other guy to reach here to get Ohtani to the plate again. We're getting greedy. Now already though, with the 5 hits, the 4 extra base hits, the 2 home runs, the 7 driven in, 2 stolen bases, no player has ever had that line. Of course, no player has ever gotten to 50-50. And when you throw in the fact that on this same day Ohtani clinches his first trip to the postseason, you can make a pretty good argument that this is the greatest single day in the regular season that any player has ever enjoyed. Pop up by Pages. Sanoha. Taylor's got to reach. Let's go. Do it for the people.
He's the only Dodger in the lineup that has not reached safely that was in the starting lineup.
Yes.
the most authenticated equipment to ever come into a batter's box.
Ohtani with a curtain call for the curtain call. Oh my goodness.
The bat boy was still getting some garb from CT at first, and Ohtani noticed it and stepped out.
A lot of people here standing. I'm sure you're standing up at home, leaning on the edge of your seat. 2-0 on Ohtani. Rubbing their hands together. Certainly smiling. We all are watching this guy. Oh my gosh! Shohei Ohtani! The greatest day in baseball history! This is not real life. He is not human. And he's giggling as he heads back into the dugout with his third home run today, his 51st of the season. I can't even keep up with what the final line is. Let's make sure we get this exactly right. And then send it straight to Cooperstown. Authenticate this line. 6 for 6. 3 home runs. 5 extra base hits. 4 runs scored. 10 runs batted in. And a 50-50 club. And a trip to the postseason. All rolled into one rollicking Miami day.
Have a day. Sharing some time with Yamamoto, the rest of his teammates. Stayed locked in after hitting the 50th home run. Glancing down in the bullpen, trying to figure out who's my next at bat against.
There's the cliche that you never know what you're going to see when you go to the park. You got to change that cliche from now on. There's one thing you know you'll never see: what you saw today. Oscar saying, would you just stop?
2 to the second deck and right. The legendary 50th one goes to the opposite field on a breaking ball. He supplied all the power on the last 2.
The 10 RBIs, the first 10 RBI game in Dodger history, the 16th in baseball history. Send that still shot to the Hall of Fame. Hernandez down the line. He's got a cute base hit. Another look at his 51st.
He leaves you speechless, and you just want to watch him.
I think the most amazing part about it all is how far he's sailed beyond the grandest hype and expectations. I don't care what the contract was.
Yep.
I don't care what you thought he could mean for the organization or for the team's win total, and worry about October when October gets here. But what it's been through now 153 games, 152 games, there's no way you could have envisioned it being quite like this. Our producer Mike Levy says Chris Taylor's the MVP for the hit to get him up.
Oh, for sure. One of the nice things is he's not the only part of the show, even though he is the show. The whole team is doing well. Pitching staff has gotten back in order. The offense around him is firing on all cylinders. They're going to clinch their playoff spot tonight and take a nice long flight home, a happy flight to LA to start a series against the Rockies. They've extended their lead on the Padres. It's just an all-around great night.
Walk for Fiducia. Look down at my score sheet and I haven't marked anything in like 5 hitters. I'm just kind of dumbfounded.
You need to.
Yeah, make sure this one's exactly right.
Yeah, you need to get that authenticated. Right as Shohei is signing it for you, make sure the authenticator is right there.
Edmonds strokes a base hit through the left side. A couple more runs going to come in. 19 for the Dodgers.
A lot of times you bring in a regular just to have a little laughs and to turn the page on a tough loss, but the Dodgers are just not letting them up for air, and especially Ohtani hitting one in the second deck for his 51st. This is getting uglier and uglier by the pitch.
Muncy. Inning started with Muncy getting hit to reach for the 4th time today. And it continues with him getting a hit. They've got 20. Not going to hit again, is he? I mean. Lux made the first out. There's a fly out to center. Is your score sheet up to date?
I think so. I don't know how accurate it is, but I think it's up to date. 8 or more runs in 5 straight games. You got to go back to 2021 in September crossing into October. Last time the Dodgers have done that. This is crazy. Last 5 games, they're chasing Ohtani. They're over 50 runs and 50 hits in the last 5 games.
Jeez. 2-2 on Lux. And he takes the walk.
You're anticipating Shohei coming up again, and so is he.
Oh my gosh, he's getting ready. By now, if this were a Little League game, the parents would have pulled their kids off of the field because of that bully from the other town who can't possibly fit in this age range. Skip might find a new position player to pitch. This is Johnny Pareto, who just came out to pinch hit a little bit ago. Trying to find the range.
I don't know if he'll take his full 8 warm-up pitches. And I don't know if they allowed him to be pulled for injury where he can have as much time as possible, but we'll stay right here. You get to watch this exciting warm-up. He's ready. Let's do it. How many more batters until he's up?
3.
Okay.
Just trying to make sure my score sheet's all right. This is out of control. He's broken my score sheet.
Well, the Dodgers have broken a score sheet too. 20+ runs for the first time since July 10th, 2021. All kinds of records being set in a certain time frame, but his record is all time.
Pages has certainly gotten lost in the shuffle, but 3 runs scored, 3 runs knocked in, couple hits. Oh, caught at third by Norby. And the inning comes to an end. They get 6 runs in the inning. Shohei Ohtani, 3 home runs, 10 driven in, 50, 50, but only 1. Shohei Ohtani. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Dodgers, Rams over the Dolphins. 20-3. Pache swings and misses at Logue's first pitch. So the Dodgers, the plan was to do a little something when they clinched the postseason spot. Do you think that's grown based on what's transpired today?
Well, there might be 2 toasts. A toast for the clinch and a toast to Ohtani. The players sometimes take things into their own hands after management's plans.
1 gone in the 9th. Well, once they do whatever they do, they fly back to Los Angeles. No rest for the weary. 3-game series with the Rockies starting tomorrow. Freeland, Quantrill, Senzatella for the Rocks. Dodgers haven't announced tomorrow's starter, but it'll be Buehler on Saturday, Yamamoto on Sunday. And then the big series with the Padres. In the air to deep left field off of the bat of Nick Fortes. Taylor can't get it. It's a home run. Fourth for Fortes.
Chris gave it a great effort.
One and 0 on Javier Sonoja. Continue to do the authenticating. They have gum wrappers there. Like, are they authenticating those?
Possibility.
Might just be stray pieces of gum too.
Well, he might have touched those.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to go down that path, this is going to be a long day for the authenticator. Those are the padded gloves you saw that he was getting authenticated right there. Those are the ones that he has on when he steals his bases. 2 of those today. Seems like it was days ago, but it was earlier in this game. Started the game with a double and immediately stole third for his 50th bag of the year. Nobody could have known what was ahead. All in this game. You knew it was coming at some point. There's no way that it was going to happen today. Not like this. Homers in 3 consecutive at-bats to finish his day. Grounded to third. Muncie's got it. 2 gone in the 9th. One more at bat for Norby. It takes a strike from Logue. I don't know about you, but I'm never going to forget today.
Nope. No way.
What a treat and a blessing and a privilege and a responsibility to be sitting here getting to watch this man and deliver back to you wherever you are. Baseball history unfolding every day, and then some days it more than unfolds, it just unfurls and explodes the way that it did today. And a day that anybody that watched it's never going to forget. Down the line, foul.
He formed his own club today, and it might be his own club for eternity. I mean, this is right there with Cal Ripken's games played, Cy Young's total wins.
Scoreless inning streaks.
No, that one is reachable.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, but I think even he would tell you, I don't know that I'm doing this again. You just can't fathom a guy stealing bases that aggressively when he's also pitching. He's also in his prime age-wise when it comes to being able to take on that dual marathon of hitting home runs and stealing bases. The body.
Well, he's changed the game in so many ways. I mean, in the culture of the game, the aspirations of young players now that want to become Ohtani. I want to pitch. I want to hit. I want to play a position. I want to hit for power. I want to steal bases. Oh, I'm not the fastest. Oh, he wasn't the fastest. As they get ready for the celebration.
Some are more full than others. I know what one I'm going for. Third from the right. Norby keeps it rolling. The base hit into left center.
But think about what he's done to the game and other organizations when I mentioned earlier that he's only in the 28th percentile as far as speed in the big leagues. How many guys now can think about, I could be a better base stealer? I mean, he's not a burner. The power, yeah, there's only a few that could think about maybe touching 50 someday, and it's been done multiple times before. But the combination?
I go back again, Oral, to your point, what I mentioned earlier about even though he's in his own world, I think we all see a little bit of ourselves in his pursuit of something. How about the idea that, you know, he does things that aren't possible, and I think that we can all take something from that. He takes things that they say can't be done and shatters it. And if he can do that, we can all find things like that.
Well, we can all be better at more things because he's shown that he's trying to get better at everything when it has to do with baseball. And I'll bet you off the field that doesn't stop either.
There it is. That's the ball game. What a game. What a day. Historic. The Dodgers have clinched a spot in the postseason for the 12th consecutive year. And it almost takes a back seat today to what Ohtani does individually. One of the greatest single game performances ever, regardless of the landmarks that were reached. Had he just done this, random day in May, it still would have been one of the greatest individual performances ever. But in doing so, he reaches 50-50 and reaches the postseason for the first time in his major league career.
Well, the foundation is a Dodger win. Right above that is the Dodgers clinch. But tonight, he's at the pinnacle.
Make sure you stick around for the post-game show. We've got all the reaction in the clubhouse. Probably going to get those cameras a little bit wet. For Earl Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Miami. 20-4, the Dodgers in a rout. 50-50 for Shohei Ohtani.